Hi, my name is Kevin Fernandez and welcome to my channel, Gamers Genie. Today we're going to learn how to play the underwater dice game Noctiluca. This 1 to 4 player game designed by Shem Phillips and published by Z-Man Games. In the remote depths of the jungle lie the cerulean pools. On the warmest nights of the year, the quiet waters are filled with shimmering lights as the dormant Noctiluca awakens. As scientists studying these beautiful phenomenon, it is your job to try to collect enough specimens to make sure you have a great understanding of these. Will you be able to collect a gorgeous set and have a better understanding on these phenomena? Or will your opponent get that grant money and tenure and laugh in your face? Find out as we go to the table and learn how to play Noctiluca. Place the game board in the middle of the table with the numbered side face down. Return the black die to the box as it will not be used for this, for it is solo mode. Then mix up, I apologize for the noise, the Noctiluca dice and spread them around. And you got to put 5 on the outer space. So 4 on the inner spaces, 5 on the outer spaces. So we'll do the 4 first. A little note, the game relies on the random distribution of colors and die faces across the board. After placing the dice, do not move or adjust them. Then distribute 12 pawns evenly amongst players. Since we're going to be playing a 2-player game, that'd be 1, 1. Separate the tokens by color, and for each one, put them in numerical order. 2s on the top, 8s on the bottom. We're going to place them right here below the game board. Shuffle the favorite cards and deal 1 to each player face down. Return any undealt favorite cards back to the box without looking at them. Each player secretly looks at their card. For the sake of the video, I will show you which one I got. But when playing an actual game, we will be keeping these secret. Without showing it to any other player, each favorite card depicts one color of Noctiluca. At the end of the game, you will score points by collecting that color of Noctiluca. Shuffle the jar cards, and I'll start my Genie magic now. Like so. And deal 3 cards face down to each player. Then each player chooses 2 of the 3 cards to keep, like so. Place the 2 cards face down in front of you and set the other card to the side. After everyone has chosen 2 cards, flip your cards face up and shuffle the set aside cards into the remaining cards. So we're just going to kind of slip and slip. Deal the jar cards as evenly as possible into 4 piles, face-up piles. And I'm going to put them all at the bottom of the board. And to save time, I'm just going to cut this and go boom and boom. And only the top card should be visible, like so. The youngest player then gets to be the first player and takes the first player marker with the one side face up. And that completes the setup. During your turn, place one of your pawns on any unoccupied shore on the edges of the pool. The center spot is not a shore. So I'm going to place my guy right there. After placing your pawn, choose one of the two straight paths adjacent to the shore, then announce the number between 1 and 6. Collect all the dice showing the announced number. So I'll pick 6, and this is regardless of color. After collecting Noctiluca dice, place the dice into your jars in spaces with matching colors. So I got a orange, a blue, and a green. So that means I can put a blue right here, my orange right here, and I can put my green in this jar. After the dice have been placed into a jar, they cannot be moved to a different jar. For dice on jar cards, keep in mind that only the color of the dice matters, not the number. So remember, when you're taking dice, only the number matters, not the... Oh, and you take them all in the row. Only the number matters, not the color. And then when you place your dice in your jars, only the color. It's number, not color, then color, not number. If there are not enough spaces in your jars for all the dice you've collected this turn, you must pass the remaining dice to the next player in turn order. When you pass the dice, you can place one of them into one of your jars as if you had collected it. Any remaining dice are passed to the next player in turn order, who can also place one die. Continue until all dice that can be placed in a jar have been placed. Any dice that cannot be placed are returned to the box lid. After you store and pass Noctiluca dice, you deliver your full jars. So then Jordan will take some and she'll do the same thing. So we'll do 6 as well. One there, one there, one there. And then I do mine again. So go here. We'll take 1s. So we'll take 1, 1, 1, put 1 there. And then I'll pass these to Jordan, so Jordan can then put 1 there. And then the rest go back to the box lid. So we'll just put that off to the side. Here, I'll say 1s. We'll take all the 1s. So then we'll go 1, 1, 1. And then die goes away. So then after you store and pass Noctiluca dice, you deliver your full jars and take point tokens and draw new jars. So this is a full jar. I will then get rid of the dice. This will give me 2 points, and I get to get one of these to give me points. When you deliver a jar, return all dice from that jar to the box lid. Take the topmost point token from the stack, matching the color of the jar, and placing it in front of you with the color side face up. Flip the jar card face down and keep it in front of you. Then take the topmost jar from one of the jar piles. If a pile runs out during the game, it does not replenish. If you have multiple full jars, deliver them one at a time in the order you choose. And then everything's kind of set up like this again. After all pawns have been placed around the board, the round ends. After the first round ends, prepare for the second round by removing all pawns from the board, distributing them evenly among players as during setup. So we'll just remove this dice because it'll have been used for... So then we remove all pawns and distribute them evenly amongst the players like we did in the setup. Then we remove the Noctiluca dice from the board. Then you flip the first player marker to the 2 side and give it to the next player. Then you refill the pools with all of the dice in the lid. In the rare case that there are not enough dice to entirely refill the board, refill as much as possible and randomly distribute dice as evenly as possible. Then you flip it over to the 2 side and pass it to the next player, who placed the last pawn in the first round. That player is the first player for the second round, with play proceeding clockwise. After the second round of the game ends, and players resolve final scoring, the back of each favorite card is now revealed and has as a reference for final scoring. For each of the 3 colors of point tokens, see which player has the most of that color. The player who has the majority flips the remaining tokens of that color over to the side showing 1 point and takes those tokens. If there's a tie for the majority, so you just flip these over, and they just count as 1 point. There's a tie for majority, split the remaining tokens evenly amongst the tied players, placing them face down and discarding the remainder tokens. Add up the points on point tokens and score that many points. Score points for delivered jars that show points in the top right corner of the card. Right there. And if there's none, that's just 1 point. Reveal your favorite and score points for each matching Noctiluca space in your delivered jars. Score 1 point for every 2 Noctiluca dice on your jars you were unable to deliver. You compare scores, and the player with the most points wins. If there's a tie, the tied player who delivered the most jars wins. If there's still a tie, the players share the victory. And that's all you need to know to play Noctiluca. If you enjoyed this video, please give it a like. Hit that subscribe button and ring the notification bell to be notified for how to play videos just like this. If you have any questions about this game, please put them in the comments below and I'll get to them as soon as I possibly can. And if you enjoy this channel as a whole, consider becoming a Patreon supporter on our Patreon page. You can support us for as little as $1 a month, which unlocks early access to how to play videos, just like the one you just watched, and of course other future how to play videos that we will be making. I believe we do have one more poll before we get into our Christmas poll, and then we will be going on our hiatus for a while. So you know, just tossing that out there, letting you know about that. But look out for all that fun stuff that we're going to be doing, and be on the lookout for our gameplay video on Noctiluca. But until then, thanks for the views.